Yes, my people, as we were saying, so we're talking about the political divisiveness on the national level, talking about macro politics. So now here we are, when we take it, because we don't really, our focus is not really on what is going on the macro level or the national level. But when we come to the politics of Edo State, as you all know, we Esan, the Esan as all Esanocrats, we've been so subjugated, and the subjugation has become very conspicuous for us, you know, the Esan to comprehend. So we have to like take it upon ourselves as the enlightenment by our chief convener, our, you know, our secretary. They've just touches on. As we go in depth, we'll be, you know, polishing it. So when we see, when we all look at the politics that is been going on in Edo State, it has never been so divided the way it is in this modern era of Governor Godwin Obaseki leader administration. So when we all see the allocation, we complain about Buhari. But when you come to the local level, we're not, I mean, I don't mean to like be poking on anybody with any kind of like insult or assault or any stuff. This is just a sincere veracity of the political situation in Nigeria. It's a pure veracity. Please, my people that are listening, just bear with me, because the truth, we said, the truth is always bitter, or it's a bitter pill to swallow. Now, coming back to that politics in Edo State, as you all can see, this is 6 years of Godwin Obaseki, maladministration. Let me put it that way. And our people have never been so subjugated in the era of politics in Nigeria, even during the military system of government in Nigeria. As we all know, recently, over the past 6 years, Obaseki has gotten into 4 years of Obaseki was wasted. I mean, on the side of Ishan people. A lot of things have been promised to the Ishan. But the worst I saw that we can see is that a lot of things are happening in Oroedo localities. And as these things are happening in Oroedo localities, some of those feudal Oroedocrats, they expect Ishan people, as they are eating political pepper soup and political eshewu, they want our Ishan people in the Esan land to be rejoicing and happy with them. While we are watching the eyesore or the political iniquities that is being meted on our people. And this is not something, it's not an easy yellow fever for somebody to conquer with. And here is where we are today. Now, over the last budget, that was the 4 years of Obaseki, regardless of the fact that it's we Ishan that actually brought Obaseki into power, let alone the politics that took place in Oroedo before Obaseki's second term, we all knew that about 65%, I mean about 65% of the voter, this thing was casted in Esan and Owan area. Because if you go to Oroedo vicinity politically, the Oroedo people actually, Eze Iyamu, who was the contender, actually shared the vote they have in Oroedo local government area. So that was when you see Obaseki was coming on his knee with his political barefoot when his back was on the wall. It was our Esan people, with that our open-mindedness, our philanthropists, our charity, we cherish him. We cherish him, and he promised us a lot of bogus infrastructural development in Esan. Today, what you saw in Esan land is a pure eyesore, lamentation, and sorrow of subjugation that is beyond human comprehension. So we are seizing on this media. Since the establishment of this Esan Focus Association, Esan Agbe, this is what this thing is. We are just bringing to the limelight for people to come, to people to understand what is going on in Oroedo, in Edo State, how we are being marginalized, continue to be subjugated or circumvented. In 2020, in this our 21st century, in 2022. So my people, we are using this medium, this medium, trying to let our people to come aboard, to come and join us as we continue to pursue this our agenda of developmental strife. Because we look at it that this is not how Ambrose Ali had governed Edo State or Bendel. Ambrose Ali and Esaman, they talk about Ogbemudia from Igbake, Esaman. So anytime these our Esanocrats, they come into the political terrain or political space of Edo State, they govern evilly or with evil hands. But anytime we have people like Obaseki has been, and he has been politically been a hit offer to our people. So enough, we are saying enough of this. I have the statistics. As we continue to ride on, then we will be touching on other areas where we are being left behind. Thank you, Mr. Our chief convener, Prince Okosun. Go on. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Mr. Martin, sir, please continue from where you stopped.
That the PDP, that is now the ruling party in Edo State today, was majorly nurtured and watered by Esan people when it was an opposition party. When every other geopolitical zone deserted the party for a greener pasture in other ruling political party. What this means is that Esan people are faithful and dedicated to any cause they believe in, even when it is going to be difficult in that regard. It is, however, painful to state that the people that nurture the party to survive and become ruling party today are not being treated fairly. For instance, the appointments done by the Governor Godwin Obaseki, has not been fair to Esan people, especially in the executive arm and the judicial arm of government. For instance, some of the appointments made so far by Governor Godwin Obaseki, let me put it succinctly. The governor, for instance, is from Edo South.
Okay.
The Secretary of the State is from Edo South. The Chief of Staff is from Edo South. The Chief Justice of the State is from Edo South. The Head of Service of the State is from Edo South. The Deputy Chief of Staff is from Edo North. The Deputy Governor is from Edo North. The Chief Justice of the State is from Edo North. Now, where does Esan now belong to? The Esan that nurture the political party when every other tribe deserted the party. I think it is high level of injustice. I want to also state without any equivocation that the development in terms of infrastructural development that has so far been done by this present administration led by Governor Obaseki have not been favorable to the Esan people. If you go to Esan land, the 5 local government in Esan land is majorly self-help. Let me go to area of security. The dangerous herdsmen were coming to our backyard to pick people as if hawk were picking chicken. Even nobody cared about it. The government was not proactive about it. We cried, the Esan people cried, and the government seems not to be very interested in it until some people came on board and took their destiny in their hands. Yes. By organizing the Esan security, the tag Atalakpa. That shows to you that the Esan people have been so far marginalized, even by the governor, who's supposed to be the father to all. As if that is not enough, the recent one that is unimaginable is the saga at Abrosali University. I want to state without any equivocation or without any fear of favor that Abrosali University Ekpoma, the only legacy project in Ekpoma that was established by the late Abrosali to ensure that education in whole Bender states is suffering from what is now in a state of what? he's in state of life support. He's in oxygen. And you know, somebody that is on oxygen, the marginal propensity that is going to survive or die is 50-50. I want to state that Governor Obaseki reduced the subvention of Ambrosali University from about 200 and something million naira to 41 million naira. As we speak now, the staff of Ambrosali University, both academic and non-academic staff, are on between 15 to 20 months salary. And they are threatening that as soon as this general national strike is called over, that they are going to continue another round of strike, which means that there is no hope of opening that university soonest, even when the national ASU have called off their staff. I want to also let you people know that most of the development in Abuja University, the building, the structure, are courtesy of what we call a third fund. Third fund. It's not the state government. Third fund that has all those buildings. There is no meaningful structure. I may say that the government of Edo State have erected in Abu. Instead of thinking of how to solve the TT problem that have enveloped Ambrosali University, he was busy scheming on how to make the university a three-campus, thinking of bringing the Faculty of Engineering to Oredo that is already congested with development. Thinking of taking a Faculty of Agriculture to Edo, precisely, maybe Onwa. One will ask, what is the rationale behind it? What Governor Obaseki is trying to do by dividing or by balkanizing the university into three is tantamount to the fact that he wants to kill the university. That is the summary of it. And secondly, I want to state that when you divide a university into multi-campus, you are like increasing the financial burden of the state, because you are going to have a VC in the main campus and a rector or provost in other campuses, which means that the funding is going to be quadruple, or is going to increase considerably or significantly. I want to ask a fundamental question. A government that cannot feed one child, that is one campus, is thinking of giving birth to another 3 child or 2 child. Is it not going to either starve one to death and concentrate on the one that is his priority, or
absolutely
kill the 3?
You're right.
You don't absolutely see any reason in it, in what Governor Obaseki is doing. You are owing lecturers almost about 16 months salary, 16 million salary. You are not able to even develop the infrastructure in the university. You are thinking of increasing the number of campus in the university. It is not wise as far as I'm concerned. And I am pleading that the governor should have a rethink, because you cannot give what you don't have. If the governor had enough funds, I don't think he would have reduced the subvention going to ECOMA from 200 and something million naira to 41 million naira. You can calculate the percentage. I want to say also that the Asian people, they are not in competition with anybody. But
absolutely.
Fair play, or with any geopolitical. We want a fair play where everybody will be recognized, where the Asian people will not be treated as if they are aliens. As I have said earlier, if you go to Asia, like Umudu Road was started by the former governor, Comrade Adam Oshomole. As I speak, that same Umudu Road is still under construction. That means almost about 7 years. A road that is less than 5 kilometers. The governor is still constructing it. These facts are verifiable facts. Going to Ewohimi is another big community. You don't have road. The governor went to Ogbe, Idugwoka, roads and awarded it 3 years ago. He went to Ijuombo Road and awarded it 3 years ago. As we speak now, there is no single lateral that have been poured in that road. I want to say again that there is water. There is a type of a water in the whole Esan that Sac Etno, Ohodua, and this, as we speak, that pipe of water is in the state of comatose. Now, the question: where do Esan people stand in the realm of security, in the realm of infrastructural development, in the realm of political appointments? As far as I'm concerned, and to every designing mind, I think Esan people have not been treated fairly. And I wish the governor will have a rethink and do the needful for the benefit of the 3 geopolitical zones that made up Esan. And I want to say also that government of Dr. Pedro Obaseki came up recently.
A moment, sir. Sorry. Let's just a moment. I think in the other section, you will do justice to that Pedro Obaseki.
That's right.
What would I call it?
It's a political sanity.
The practical way of making sure that South continue to underestimate the Esan people politically. So we'll come back to that.
Thank you.
Now, let me, I don't know, Mr. Vincent, I don't know if Mr. Vincent is here, if he also have anything to say as regards the Esan people being marginalized politically in Edo State. Mr. Vincent, I don't know if you, okay.
Okay, a quick one. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I welcome you all to this broadcast. I'm Mr. Vincent Osaigio-Bute. I'm also the CEO and Director of Studies, Esan Language Academy. Now, talking about Esan.
We're having serious issues.
Marginalization and Esan history from how, can you hear me now? Can you?
Yes, please.
Okay, how Esan history has been biased.
Your network is failing. You know, from Nigeria, it's difficult to get a fluent network.
It's a very big one.
I think we'll get back to you. Okay.
No, the network is it's really terrible down there.
Mr. Vincent, I think you have to hold on. Your network is failing.
Yeah.
Are you still there, Mr. Vincent?
Very unsteady. It's frozen up on a.
Now, before we go, maybe let me say something. Maybe by then his network will be perfectly restored. You see, we the Esan people, I want to put out a message to every one of us as Esanites, where we ought to always be proactive, not reactive. Now, by reason of the deceptive oneness, I call it this because this oneness, Okpamahin or Okpamahin, as said by the Edo people, as a matter of fact, is deception. It's deception to continue to carry us along by reason, because when anybody here, we are one, everybody wants to embrace oneness, but oneness needs to be adequately defined. One individual can be referred as oneness in a place where we have multi-ethnic group of people that has come together to have one alignment, to have one formation, such as a country or a state, is also called one. But holistically, we need to be able to define ourselves inside this oneness league. Now, we don't have to continue to keep mute just in the name of we are one. If you look at it, we are one. All the infrastructure, developmental strides that we have in that state that is called Edo State are all located towards Edo South. And it is still said Okpamaki. Holistically, like I said before, it's not like as if we are just really one like this. We are multi-ethnic group of people. It is very, very clear that a particular group of people known as the Edo South, they are only focusing on the Edo South while they are playing the deceptive league of Okpamaki. When we talk about development, they are all choked into Edo South, like as if Edo South is the only part of Edo State we're having. Now, we the Esan people, I talk about being proactiveness. We don't need to continue to play along. We don't need to continue to plead Godwin Obaseki. We ought to put a sound message as Esan people. This is what we are demanding to any governor, and including Governor Obaseki, because looking at that geographical space that is now called Edo State today, what we only enjoy, where we only co-associate as a people of Esan, or where we only enjoy what we call even a type of development, was during the time of Abrus Ali and Samuel Ogbemudia. These are non-Edo people. If they were Edo people, the Esan land today would have still remained most interior parts of that state. Now, how can we continue to plead Obaseki? We don't need to plead these people any longer. We need to put our message to them thoroughly, accurately, and optimistically, that this is what we, the Esan people, we are coming up for. The marginalization is long overdue. Our message is no, never again are we going to be playing along in this kind of marginalization. And secondly, we, the Esan people, we need to take it upon ourselves as a matter of being proactive. Because if you don't proact as a person, if we don't proact as a group of people, on the long run, we shall be reacting. It is unto like medicine after death. We ought to gather ourselves together, our fathers at home, our political elite at home, our energies at home. They now need to begin to see into what we call Esanhood and Esanite. We need to look away from political parties. We need to look away from political ambition for individual, for stomach infrastructure, for personal. We now need to look into the interests of the Esan people at large. And if we see, like it has been seen, that the interest of the Esan people at large is not even taken into thought, we now need to begin to draw our structure. We now need to begin to push forward for what we need. And if what we need is not given to us, our agenda ought to be upshooted by the Esan people. We talk about proactiveness. The Delta states, people that are now Delta states today, they were proactive. They foresaw what we are experiencing today. And that was why they quickly embraced the need for them to be independent on their own, independent states. Other than that, they would have still been undergoing today. The Anyoma state, as we speak now, let us look into the restructuring of Nigeria that we talk about, that is being loud everywhere. We know fully well that Nigeria will never and can never continue like this. A time will come where everybody will now hacking onto restructure, because that is only the remedy for Nigeria illness. That is only the remedy. And of the truth, we know that even when we look at the restructuring desk where they discuss it today, we see the states that are already being created. Some want to say this is the state that is going to be created. Now, the essence cannot, they are not proactive. We are still sitting, we are still waiting until the country is restructured. We will still be part and parcel of a state that is called Edo State. Edo State is not our state. We are just inside our state because it is called Edo State. It is called Benin City. Me and you, we are not Benin. We are not Edos. Yet, it is called Edo State. That is the upper hand these people, they are having on us. We need to begin to look into this and begin to proact. So this is the message I need to put to our Esan sons and daughters, Esan political elites, and Esan kings that we have out there. Let us begin to have an agenda, not this not only the Esan agenda that we are having there, we know how the Esan agenda came about. The Esan agenda came to deliver Obaseki. Now, we are not going to stop there. We saw it that, okay, Esan need to have an agenda to deliver Obaseki. There was a reason for that, and that was because Oshomole offended the Esan people. He was being used to, what's it called, unseat or dethrone our great Onoji, the Onoji of Urum. And the Esan people were not pleased. So that is why we have to have our agenda. We ought to add and we have our agenda and we use it to deliver Obaseki, not knowing fully well that it's like onto jumping from a fry pan into fire. So how long shall we continue to play along with this kind of oneness? So our people, our father, political elites, kings out there, I think it's high time we, the Esan people, we need to sit together on the round table and begin to discuss the interests of the Esan people and begin to have our agenda for real. If done otherwise, this is the step that the Esan people are going to take. So that is for that. Let me go over again to Mr. Vincent. Maybe his network will be perfect now. Mr. Vincent, sir. No.
I think this thing is still having problem. Let me just, Chief Convener, let me just throw a little light on the insecurity that this guy was briefing.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
A quick one. Sorry for network issues here. Like the bias in historical analysis of the Esan people by most of the Benin authors, I want us to understand tonight that it is intentional. Because in history, we are told that perception is about what people want to give to the public and what people think is actually true, even though it's not. Now, for us to understand what is tenable in the coming future, it is very, very advisable that every household in Esan should learn to teach their children, their wives, their husbands, what really Esan culture and history is all about. And emphatically today, the Esan people are not an offshoot of the Benin people, because most of the authorities that are being quoted, most of them assume that, or most of them opine that the Esan people are brothers to the Benin. Ordinarily, a brother cannot give birth to a brother. You understand? A brother cannot give birth to a brother. Now, on the issue of the way forward, how do we actually regain our position, both in economic sense and in political sense, is not just a soldier manner agitation. It's for us to come together, because political power controls economic power. Permit me to say here today that without politics realigning Esan agenda or making Esan to come to the limelight of scheme of things in Edo State, without politics, it will be a mirage. So what I'm campaigning for today is we, the Esan people, need to realign ourselves politically, because presently we are divided amidst many parties or many political parties. And sorry to digress, look at the Esan agenda that was gaining momentum over 2 or 3 years ago. But presently you can see how some good Esan sons and daughters are sabotaging that agenda, all because of selfish interest. But the battle is not lost. We still need to come together, build synergy, have unity, and create awareness, and create many fora whereby Esan people will understand that we are not just a tribe in Edo State, we are a people. So when we follow these routes that I have just itemized, I think the Esan people will not be marginalized again. Just like Sir Odion Aloba was explaining succinctly, since I was born, Esan has never been neglected with the way it is now. We are not missing words, facts are there. So it's not about Obaseki, it's not even about any government that will come or not to come. It's about non-commitment of the Esan people. You understand? Now, remember, in the second election of Governor Obaseki, so many Esan sons stepped down for him. Yes. So many Esan people voted for him. After he emerged as the duly elected governor for second term, look at how we are being paid. It is not fair and it is unacceptable in total terms. So it's for us to rise up and fight politically, economically, and through the creation of awareness. This is what I stand for. Over to you, Sir Odion Aloba. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Our chief convener, let me just throw a little light as per that as per the marginalization. So talking about the marginalization situation in Edo State right now. One more thing again too is as a result of this marginalization, this blatant marginalization, as a result of it, we all can see it has, it has gotten into a point now where the neglect of it has gotten into a neglectful state of the Esanite security system. Now, we have about 35 clans in Esan, which is all combined geographically bigger than the state of Ebonyi State and Imo State geographically. So now you have this number of clans, which is 35 clans in Esan. Now what you are seeing there is a total neglect by this administration being led by Governor Godwin Obaseki that lack the testicular political fortitude to carry everybody along. Now that was a result of that. That's why you saw what it is that happened the other day in Urumi. And to add salt to an injury, when this incident happened in Urumi, till death up till now, Obaseki never visited Urumi to go and sympathize with the people. He never deemed it fit. So this, like I said, these lamentations and sorrowful neglect of our people is not something. It has got into a political barometric unbearable situation that our people, the way we are coming up with this, we are calling the Obaseki because time is out. Obaseki only have about 18 months to go. So he's not going to engage in any kind of political miracle overnight that will bring that development that he promised our people in the next few months. But we are still begging him to go into his heart, if he has a heart, to do the needful, because history will not speak good of him. Because what he is doing now that we are seeing, he is sowing the seed of his political reputation on a loamy soil, and it will be buried sooner than later. So my people, go ahead, my people.
I want to quickly add to my brother, my able chairman, Odion Aloba. You are speaking very well.
Thank you.
The issue with our basic schools, primary and secondary school in Esan land is in a state of dilapidation. If you go into our primary and secondary school, it is not fit to even train pigs. I want to tell the world for free. Like in some school, I want to mention name. Uzebu Primary School, Okagme Wohimi, has about 3 teachers. These are verifiable facts. Okagme Primary School have few teachers. Okagme Secondary School have resorted to self-help by contributing money to employ community teachers. Ovu Primary School is not different. Go to Ekpoma, the same thing. I am not talking of the infrastructure. Children are sitting on the floor. Rain is drenching on them. Apart from what Oshomole did last, the Red Rule revolution, there is nothing to write home about in our primary and secondary schools. Now, I heard recently just last week that our governor have just woken up and said he is aware of the gap in primary school. That is the teacher that is now aware of the gap after 5-6 years. I want to ask the whole world, if there are no teachers for 5-6 years, who cannot cover that lacuna, that gap, academic gap that have been created? If the government is just waking up that I want to employ 2,000 star teachers, and these star teachers, they are not so permanent teacher, they are casual. They are on 3 years what we call contracts. It means after that 3 years, there's every likelihood that these children or this teacher will also be sacked.
Will be phased out.
It will be phased out. If the incoming governor after Obaseki's tenure does not believe in those ideology. Now, I want to also say, Obaseki have always been talking of Edo best, Edo best. I want to say for free to the world, in the villages where you have tab that uses network, you see how we have been battling with network now. And this tab uses network or use network. You can imagine what the children are passing through when there are no network and when there are even no power to charge this facility. I want to say, without your favor, that issue of Edo best, where there are no teachers to even instruct these children, where there are no teacher, no chair, no desk for teacher, where rain is drenching the teachers and the students, should be better be described as Edo worst educational program.
Thank you so much.
Because I want to state that the who does not make the mock. It is not the policy that is not backed up with action that can change the narrative. It is policy backed up with action, with reality on ground that can change the narrative. Edo best, as it is called, which I tag Edo worst, because there are no teachers to instruct, there are no desks for children, there are no teaching materials for children, and you are calling it Edo best. Who is fooling who? Who is fooling who? This is a very big question to be asked. If you doubt it, send people to go and interview the teachers. But the teachers are also afraid because they have been telling one not to criticize the policy. If they do, they may not, they are civil servants. They may not be retired, or they may be sacked or punished. Because of that, you see, we are in a state of incommunicado in terms of the decadence that the educational system in Edo State suffered. We are not talking of other higher institutions, both in Edo South and in Edo North and Edo Central, that have been perpetually locked and shut, all staff sacked, and students frustrated. Like Edo State College of Agriculture, Igworiahi, that just got their judgment in National Industrial Court in 2019 and January 24, 2022, this year. The college have been shut. The students were asked to go home first, that they will be called later. This is for about 5 years now, the students have been asked to go home first. Do you suspend learning? Have you ever seen where learning have been suspended? What that means that the Governor Obaseki suspended learning and ask the children that go home first. I want to restructure the college. If I finish restructuring the college, if it takes me 10 years, I'll call you back.
Thank you, Martin. Be restricted to Esan, please. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
I just want to digress a little. To let us know that we are in a very terrible situation. We are in terms of security, in terms of education, in terms of infrastructural development, construction of roads, in terms of pipe-borne water. And that is the main reason for governance. The main reason for governance is to create an enabling environment for business to thrive. Government have no business in business. The business of government is to ensure there is pipe-borne water, is to ensure that there is security, is
social
to ensure
amenities
that the are working, is to ensure that the health facility. I want to announce to you too, the General Hospital in Okagme have no enough staff to even man the hospital. It is
the medical part of the people.
The medical part of the people. It's as bad as that. For people to come and start ruling us from the social media, telling the world of what is not on ground is more very uncharitable and uncalled for. We should
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, quickly, let's before we go, I would like to go to our Honorable Secretary, Mr. Roland Nanake. But before we go there, I want to see if Mr. Ose is still around, so that we will not do justice to our history as to making it known to Esanites, Esan people, Esan sons and daughters, mothers and fathers, for us to be very, very optimistic. As a matter of being very, very optimistic, this is who the Esan people are. This is how our origin emanated. So, Mr. Ose, please start from the emanation of Esan people, Esan descendants, and then also do justice to the Uzea Urumi Oba Ozolwa. Recently, because of what this platform has been doing, the Esan Focus Association, putting it out there to the people and then to the Esan children, fathers, sons, and mothers that we, the Esan people, we are not descendants of the Oba of Benin, and as such, Oba Ozolwa was defeated and beheaded in Esan land when he brought war to the Esan land. A father cannot bring war to his children. In real sense, if you are the people, you are the one who gave birth to such a people. So that was the reason for all those narratives. And because they see how the messages has been going around, they quickly go on ITV television to go and continue to propagate and portray more on their non-factual historical narrative. So, Mr. Ose, over to you, sir. Please come in.
Yeah. Yeah. In continuation of what our language director said, that the distortion of our history by the Beninese is deliberate. Yeah, they are doing it intentionally. You understand? They are trying, and let me say, they are doing it. One of the purposes, the reason why they are doing that is for territorial expansion. You understand? We will be able to capture the origin of the people, distort people's history, their origin. Of course, you will be able to something like capture the territory of such people. For instance, like what you said, Mr. Okosun, the Edo language. We don't speak Edo language. You speak the language of your ancestors. Edo is an individual that lived in 14th century. He was a slave of Ogiefa. He lived during Oba Ewari period in 14th century. And the Esan historically, archaeologically proven, has been in existence since 3,000 years ago. We have already settled in Esan land, especially the northern side of Esan. So for them saying that we speak Edoai language, the person that did that in 1973, he was a Benin man who grouped our language as Edoai. His name is Ogiera. He is the one that named our language Edoai. So of course they control him in the Oba Palace to do all those things. So our language, if you want to know the origin of a people, you will look into their origin of their language. Where do our people stem from? Where do our language stem from? The Esan language is grouped among the Niger-Congo language family, or the Kwa language family. Of course, for people that are educated, that are well-read, you know that all Kwa language disseminates from Niger, Benue Conference area. The Niger-Benue Conference area is the central Nigeria, which is today Kogi State. Yeah, between Ukbila, Ukende, and Lokoja. Yeah. So, contrary to what you are hearing, you Benin talking about descendants. The Esan people descend from Benin. The Urobo people descend from Benin. So a lot of ethnic nationalities in the southern Nigeria, all of them, they migrated from Benin. It is false. The primary migration of the Esan people, we migrated from Niger-Benue Conference. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which our people call Uhe. You understand? So our people call it Uhe. So in some of the people that recorded our history, like Brankberry, one of the European authors that recorded our history, some of the villages, some of the clans in Esan, in his book, they were saying they came from Ukbame, which is Uhe, which is the Niger, the Great River. They were calling it the Great River. As at then, they don't call it River Niger. Of course, there was no Nigeria then. So they were calling that place Ukbame as in the Great River, which is the River Niger. Our people, we came from Uhe around that 6,000 to 10,000 years ago. It is not only Esan's people that participated in this migration history. So I'm going to list the people that participated in this migration history. The Esan people were involved. And the Epie Etisa. The Epie Etisa, they are presently in Yenegua, which is Bayelsa State. And the Engen people, they are probably in Port Harcourt, the Degema, the Opameri, they are still in Akoko Edo presently, which is the northern part of Edo State. The Shomolika, they are still in Edo State, which is the northern part of Edo State, Akoko Edo. Of course, the Uneme people, the northern Uneme people. The Uneme people, they are specifically our clan, the people that are specializing in making iron. Elui Ebe. Or anything iron. It was the Uneme people that were doing it. Yeah, the Uneme people stock today they've metamorphosed into different ethnic group, into different names. When they migrated from the northern part of, which is the Uhe, which is Kogi today, they settled in Idumuigun. Of course, you know, it was the Idumuigun some people in Ugboha stem from. So the Ugboha people, they are from the Uneme stock. The Anegbete people, the Ayagbede people, all of them, they are still, just that they metamorphose as history goes on, they metamorphose into different names. So these are some of the people that migrated from that particular environment around 6,000 to 10,000 years ago. The Esan people, the Odoani, they are presently in Kogi State. The Emir Oluleha, which is in Owan. So one of the reasons why they left Uhe could be, of course, because of the volume of the river Niger increased, because there was a flood. So it displaced the people that were in those surroundings. The environment became uninhabitable. So all of them, they started migrating towards the south. So it is contrary to the lies they are telling you that people migrated from the south to the north, or from the south to the west, or to the east. It is not true. There was never a time the primary historic migration of our people or any ethnic group in southern Nigeria happened like that. It is from the north we all migrated to the south. So here some people, when the Uhe, which is Kogi State today, became uninhabitable, they first of all migrated to Akoko Edo, to the hills of the Akoko Edo. It was from the hill of Akoko Edo, the Esan people, they started migrating to the Esan land. So the first people that migrated to the Esan land, which are the ethnic group, they are still there today. The Doa, of course, I'm mentioning the kingdoms that are there right now, they are still there today. The Ukon, the Ukon, they are still there today. The Owon Ona is today called Ekpoma. You understand? The people that came from Benin in 14th century, they met these people in Ekpoma. They were called Owon Ona. So the Eilu people have evolved into Ehu people of today. But we also have the Aho people. Today they are called Irua. So, and we also have the Idumambu. The Idumambu people, they were the first people that settled in Nubaha. Just all over Esan, people were scattered, all the different settlements, they were all scattered in different clans in Esan. But it was not as developed as evolved the way it is today, but as there was just a little settlement in that period. So these people, they've been in Esan land around that 3,000 years ago, in the mid-1st century AD. So because of the waterless nature of Esan land, Esan is not like Benin, where you have Uba River, have Ofia River, you have so many rivers like that. Esan is a plateau territory. Yeah. So because there was a limited streams in Esan land, so some peoples in Esan in 500 AD, which is the mid-1st millennium AD, they migrated to Benin. I repeat again.
So the territory that is now called Benin now.
Yeah, exactly. The people they call Benin now, Igodomigodo don't exist then. Yeah, let me be using, because Benin is a recent word. Let me be using the word Igodomigodo. Igodomigodo as at then don't exist. Contrary to what they are telling you, the Esan come back from Benin. It is the Benin who migrated out from
Esan. Wow.
Exactly. In 500 AD. You understand?
Yeah.
So when these people, of course, human beings, they are always looking for more inhabitable place to live. So the limited streams in Esan, they do not have rivers. It's a plateau territory. Plateau means flat land. Amen River, no big river apart from River Niger, in a very far different environment. So yeah, exactly. Yeah. So people in Esan now started migrating to the south, Saturn forest, looking for a more inhabitable place to live. It is not only the Benin that migrated out of Esan. The Urobo were still among. We all migrated from that River Niger down to Esan. So the Urobo were among the Isoko and all those ethnic nationalities that are in Niger Delta that I mentioned, the Degema, the Pie, and the Tisa, and all the stuff, etc. So all of them, they migrated to the south. They founded the first place, of course, they founded Uhunwode, all those territories that are very close to Esan. Yeah, these are some of the places they first settled. Some of them moved to Ohiobe. Ohiobe means OHOVBE. So Ohiobe, people that are in Benin, they understand the particular environment I'm talking about. So some of them really, exactly, yeah. So the reason why I mentioned this specific place is because in 1984, there's one archaeology that surveyed the earthworks in Benin and Esan. So some of these places, these are the oldest earthworks built in Esan land. Or let me say in the whole of part of Edo State, were surveyed in Esan, especially the northern side of Esan, where these people first settled. Yeah, it was dated 500 AD, as in before 1st century. So the earthwork built in Uhunwode and Ohiobe, and all these ones, they were dated around 1st century. So with time, when our people, which is the people that were in Igodomigodo that founded Benin, started living in that side, they started moving to the west of Igboba River. So when they moved to the west of the Igboba River, the migration started expanding. They moved to Ute. They founded Ute. They founded Idogbo, Oka, Egbae, Iwu, of course, Idu Yekoriomo. Of course, they founded Yekoriomo, and Ubekun, Utekun, and Udo, of course, yeah. This is how Benin was founded. The people that left Esan land, they are the people who went and founded Igodomigodo. By this time, listing the Oba dynasty doesn't exist. The Ojiso dynasty doesn't exist. What we were having then was Idionwele, as in the oldest man in the village. Of course, in different clans, the older person will be ruling. Yeah. It was later on when, of course, our people started evolving. In the Benin side, they started having Ojiso. Of course, the people in Esan, of course, all those ones, they also have their own king, like the Eilu people, which is called Eilu people, like that. This is how they started having, and our migration started having. They started evolving. It was later on when Ujiso dynasty collapsed. Of course, if you want me to expand on Ujiso dynasty, maybe we can talk about that in another
day.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So,
what a tsunami pure history.
Yes, thank you very much,
thank
Mr.
you,
Ose. Very
appreciate
articulated. And this is dished out from verified archaeological facts, not mere lip services formation. This, I repeat, is dished out from verified archaeological facts, not made up history. The Ikaladera made up history, so on and so forth. But because of time, as you can see from our side, the time is fast spent. And this is the very first time for such awesome broadcast. We are going to continue this weekly. And then we are on the mission of sensitizing our people adequately. Before we go out, let me allow our secretary, Mr. Roland Nana Gabriel, to also buttress on those aspects he feels like he needs to come in from there. Mr. Roland Nana Gabriel, Honorable House of Secretary, the floor is yours, sir.
The viewers, thank you very much for connecting to this program. And my brothers in the house, I greet you all. And I greet Mr. Ose, especially. If I would have said, let me give him my time so that he would continue. Because because I myself, I'm not going to speak much about any other thing because our brothers have already spoken. I just want to talk to our Esan people.
Thank you.
Me myself, when growing up, I had all this fake history about the Esan people in my head and in my heart. So I followed all those history because that was what they told us. That is what they want us to know. And in my and even some of our fathers who knows the truth, they're afraid to speak the truth. There was a time when I was so much into this thing, but something spoke to me. That was what gave me the assurance that Eli Mason is still strongly behind the Esan people. Something spoke to me and told me that everything you heard about the Esan people are pure lies. From that moment, I was convinced that Eli Mason was speaking to me. Then I sat down, I was thinking about it, meditating on it. I got so many understanding that truly, if you watch the way things are in Esan land, you will know that this is just a game of hatred and game of insecurity. Because in real life, those who actually have something, those who are true, they don't fight. Just like the Esan people, we are lovely people. We want to bring everybody together. But absolutely, who knows that they don't have anything, they feel insecure. So they fight every misinformation. They fight against those that have things. And this is what we have experienced for years. Let's think about this. If we continue to keep quiet about what is going on in our land, I tell you, what you see right now is just the beginning. Forget the fact that this thing started long ago. We can do something. We are Esan. We are Iwo Helimi. When we stand to do something, we can achieve whatever we want to. And that is the fear. That is why you see they want to depopulate Esan land. They want to make sure they remove all the citizens from Esan and bring them to Benin and make sure Esan become nothing. They are taking away everything we have. They celebrate what we have for themselves. But if we continue to keep quiet, it will continue to happen. My mother told me something. And my own reply to myself was that no, that cannot be true.
That's right.
Because God has given us everything, and God wants us to take care of our world ourselves. So if we are still waiting for God to come and conquer those people who are oppressor, then we are wasting our time. So this program is just the beginning. Today is the first day. I won't be speaking much, but I just want to say, let's unite, let's come together. Because what we are seeing now is not right. We deserve better.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Unmute yourself.
Let me see.
This is what I want to say.
Thank you so much.
We are saying Esan Focus Association. Go on Facebook. Go and subscribe. Follow the
getting notification and come on board. We need people who can work with us. So next week, as we continue on the program, I will continue to speak my mind. And I thank you very much. God bless you all. Yes.
One you can share to. I thank you all, viewers out there. Thank you. And then I also want to use this medium as an avenue to let us know that this is Esan Focus Association that is open to all Esanites, Esan Igbe, Esan Renegbe. This association is open to us all. To be member and part and parcel of this Esan Focus, what the qualification you need is your Esanite, is you being an Esan person. I am no more Esan than you, you are no more Esan than me. We all need to come together to put hands collectively on deck in making sure we pilot the affairs that concerns Esan. And then most especially our history. You know, the people who don't care, who neglect their history, we have a lot of negligence when we talk about our history. Even our older people neglect the historical part of Esan. Let me tell you as elderly man, let me tell you as elderly woman, should in case you don't know, the father listening, parents listening to their children. If we don't stand up in making sure we appropriate our history and we are still giving birth, do you know what we're doing? We are breeding lost generation. Irrespective of your pedigree, irrespective of your class, irrespective of how rich you are, if our history, the Esan history, is continuously being distorted like the way it is today, we are breeding lost generation, because it is only our people's history that retain their generation upon generation forever and ever. Immediately the history is distorted, these people will be lost. So let us take it our priority, topmost priority, in making sure we continue to do justice to our history. And we are also using this medium as an avenue to reach out to our energies that we are not pleased for our king to continue to be subject of another king. All kings are supposed to operate independently. If a king or any king is subject to other king, it means that the descendants of those kings that are subject to other kings, they are second class. Kings that are operating with staff of office, these are not dukes, these are kings. It means that these are kings for real. What we are having in that geographical space that is called Edo State is cohabiting. It does not mean that the people we are cohabiting together with, they are the one who gave birth to us. So the time is now. The reincarnate spirit of our ancestors, Esan, is awoken within us. That is why we are speaking. We are not going to pay deaf ear any longer to the reincarnate spirit of our ancestors that is calling us. Let us all emerge to the occasion of doing justice to the Esan history. Keep on following Esan Focus Association, and to become member of this association, what you need to do, brothers and sisters, call this number and then we'll admit you into Esan Focus Association. Before we go tonight, I want to hand over to our brother, Mr. Vincent Obuite. I don't know if you're here to round up this program with whatever it is you have to say, or just round up the program. Thank you, Mr. Vincent Obuite. Over to you.
Mesa, Ejama Ole Twiku. Owani Ojo Alobolila Twiku.
My people, you see, my people, this is the beauty. This is the beauty of Esan tradition. You understand what I mean? And this is what we love about it, you know. And you know, we are so delighted. You know, we are so delighted to be present in this platform this evening. And another thing I would want to say is, Vincent or Ose, if you guys have any sonotologist, any of the titles you guys have out there, because we have a bunch of we have a lot of enlightened sonotologists out there. So any book written by these people, we want each and every one of you to put it out so that our people can be hacking into it. So that I mean, this is so interesting. I'm telling you. So
I will mention some of the authors before I run.
Okay, thank you so much. I think you have to mention them before we get out of this very place. As soon as so you can log us out. So that I just want to say so that a lot of people we want, like our chief convener rightly said, that what made you a bona fide denizen of Esan land is just your ethnocentric caliber. So we implore everybody to join us wherever you are in the whole world or in any nook and crannies of the world. So that I will tell you, may God bless all of us here, people that are partaking in watching what we are doing today, and may God, gazilliously bless each and every one of you here that are present. Thank you all. Okay, go ahead and give us the sonotologist guy out there that you have with you or that you have in your hands.
Exactly. Yeah, I greet everybody. Yeah.
Thank you.
I appreciate everybody for giving us here.
Thank you.
History, of course. Today, of course, we are just starting today. We discussed the primary migration of Esan people. And of course, there are 3 waves of migration in Esan land. So maybe subsequently in our next program, we will start from the secondary migration, which is Ujisu period. Of course, the 3rd migration wave that happened, which is the Obaewari period, which the one people are mostly talking about. So, but for today, we have already laid the foundation, the people that are aborigines in Esan, and how the people, the Idu people, which is the indigenes in Benin, came out from Esan. We all migrated all together from Uhe in Niger Benue Conference environment, which is Kogi State of today, around 6,000 to 10,000 years ago. So we were all living in Esan land, of course, and people always, as human beings, we always look for a more good environment to live. People are always searching for greener pasture. So some of our people left Esan land and go after Godo. So in some of the Esan books that we reference for you, for the listeners to go and acquire, of course, the most celebrated Esan historian is Dr. Christopher Okoje. He's late now. He's the one that wrote the Esan native laws and custom. Not the fake ones you are seeing on internet or the soft copies you are seeing on internet. Go and look for the hard copy. Of course, he's the person that founded the nursing school. There is Zuma Nursing School in Iruwa. Of course, you can, if you are living in Esan land or living in Nigeria, and I believe they will still have. Of course, we have a hard copy in their library. You can look for such copy in a particular book, Esan Native Laws and Custom, authored by Dr. Christopher Okoje. It was published in 1953 and later on in 1960. There is also one of the most prominent historian that touched Esan history archaeologically from an archaeological lens. His name is Patrick Darling. So he wrote the Archaeology and History of Saturn, Nigeria, the ancient linear earthworks of Benin and Esan. His book was published in 1984. So he also wrote another book a few years later, Imaging Towns in Benin and Esan, Nigeria, 500 AD to 15th century. This same book was published in 1988.
Can you repeat the name again, sir?
Okay, yeah. The first one that I reference now is Esan Native Laws and Customs, by Dr. Christopher Okoje. The book was first published in 1953 and 1960. Of course, you have another historian. I love this guy because he wrote our history based on archaeological lens. Of course, that if you want to really know the foundation of the people, is through archaeology, you'll be able to know that.
Yeah.
So he is the person that did all those earthwork, many kingdoms in Esan and Benin. So he was able to radiocarbon date it and see the actual date our people settled. So he wrote, his first book was Archaeology and History of Saturn, Nigeria. The ancient linear earthworks. Earthworks, our people call it Iyala. So, earthworks of Benin and Esan. It was written in 1984. His name is Patrick Darling. Darling is Darling. Yeah. He also published another book, Imaging Towns in Benin and Esan, Nigeria, from 500 AD. 500 AD is before 1st century. That is when our people settled in Esan land. So all those mini kingdoms, earthwork, he surveyed in Esan land. He radiocarbon dated in 500 AD. So the imaging towns in Benin and Esan, Nigeria, 500 AD to 15th century, by Patrick Darling. So
thank you so much. Without further ado, let me just say a little prayer so that we can close out. Are we ready to go, our chief convener?
Sir, please, before you continue, I want to say this. Our brother talk about Mr. Okoje in Irua, who also wrote the Law and Custom. Please, I want to say that, well, because of this, since all those things will start coming up now, the family, if they have the hard copy with them, these people, we don't have hatred for the Benin people. I have friends who are Benin. They are wonderful people. Yeah. So we are only talking about what those elites has done to us. So the family of Okodi, they are no matter the amount of money they try to offer, don't give them the hard copy. Because our history is what is at stake here. Let's choose the right thing over money this time, because definitely they will try to buy the hard copy so that this the hard copy cannot go viral any longer. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Very, very importantly, before our chairman pray for us, as he has said, in our cultural ways, cultural identity, not the religious perspective, because we need to retain our culture. And then, secondly, most importantly, we do justice in that most especially concerning Oba Ozoloa. We do justice to that when we come back next time, Oba Ozoloa. We're going to make sure that everybody know the true picture surrounding Oba Ozoloa, or know the true happiness which happened surrounding Oba Ozoloa. And then people, if you know, as we're here now, you guys are not able to go through the comment section. I don't know if you're going through the comment section, if it's possible. But if you see the comment section, people are asking questions. If we have to follow the comment section, it's going to be very, very engaging. But next time, our number is there. You can call in to make your contribution, to also ask questions. You can call in. The number is there. But if you look at the comment section, some people are asking how the Proverbs of Edo, wherever you see Esan person and you see the snake, first of all, kill the Esan person before you kill the snake. They want to know more about that. So what's brought about all that, they are also encapsulated in all the events that happen during the Oba Ozoloa. So because of how swift the Esan are, that is why that Proverbs from the Edo emanated. So we are going to open all this, reveal all this to us when we come again next time. And of course, this program is going to be continued. We are not going to be rushing out the way we are rushing out now, because we want to make sure that our people get the full dose of the Esan history. We are going to be spending 1 hour, 30 minutes because of our narration, and people are going to be calling in. So we are going to be spending at most 1 hour, 30 minutes. So we'll make sure that we make provision and make preparation to carry everybody along. So over to you, Honorable Chairman, sir.
Thank you so much, our chief convener. Anyway, let us pray. When I don't make you understand where we now make Johnny ma wege ni ma na wege ge mama eyo bo eyo o ekeno se do eyo bono se do eyo lima na devarege original people sema osema la wo ware osema ma rebe bo sema and with you am don wege ipa bono sema be sano sema oliva olale bo bi do na record no kere olale na palo e mata no ale mai do atemata mana go kwen wo se na nuwere sabore gada ma ni ma sabore mi we ma do are mata eja na atemata olima woni malu adoki eran semata fiobi ukuge no semani egimana eneni so that ebo ne mane bi malu e do re we e balu we sano semani ni olima na mwemire fo wo bo osele edenena obion osono bo were mu ma bare obion always osono bo that's it. They were all good.
Okay. I think we're good to go. Esan Focus Association.
Esan Agbe. You all got it.
Okay. Viewers, we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.